Hi, Sandra. Hi, Kathleen. Here we are, Mom Proof.
Hi, Jamie.
We're back. I love this part. This is super fun. And we have new cups. I'm just not going to wait a minute. I'm going to point it out. I'm sorry, Stanley. Bye-bye. We liked you for a minute, but now.
Mom Proof.
Yes.
Do we make cups or you did not? These are not our own cups. We got them engraved for us.
What do you mean? Of course we make cups, and if you want to buy them,
True that.
no. Everything's for sale.
Mm-hmm. Like your boots. Your boots are bad, eh?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Put that boot up.
This is just fun. I know. It's winter. It's because the weather's cold.
Yeah, finally.
I know.
Holidays.
It feels better. Holidays are around the corner.
I love it.
So we can talk about parenting and holidays.
Yeah, parenting adult-ish kids when they come home for the holidays. This is an interesting piece.
It really is.
Mhm.
It is. Because we think our kids can make the right decisions even after they're off to college or really adulting, but they still need us. I mean, they do make good decisions, but
Mostly.
it's tough. That one's tough. Think about that. And for us that are divorced, we have to share.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah, so that's difficult.
That is. What pray tell is something coming down the pipeline for y'all? How are you managing that? Because we are in the holiday season.
I think for older kids, I mean, they get to decide, right? When they're young, underage, and they're on a schedule.
Right.
But then now they get to decide basically where they want to go.
Ooh,
Or
so are
when.
you going to be butthurt over it if
Yes, exactly.
little boy decides to go to dad's and not
Yes.
to mom's? So that's a good
You
thing
are?
to talk about.
You're-
No, I'm just,
Oh, you
no, I'm just saying
That's
In
right.
general.
hypothetically.
Yes.
It's hard to say today. My jaw is like 20 pounds today.
And it is, I mean, I think if I put myself in the shoes of the person who the child decides that they're going to be with the other parent, I could see how I would get my feelings hurt. But at that point, you just kind of have to really distance yourself from that and
From what?
from the feeling, right?
I thought you meant like the person or
No,
the kid. I was like, don't
no.
do it.
No.
Psychologists, don't
Don't
lean
distance
in.
it from your kid.
Yes, lean in. Don't
No.
push away.
Not making it about you, because if they've made that decision, then maybe there's a reason for it. Maybe they want to get to know the parent, that other person more, or whatever the reason may be. But it's a decision that they've made and they're adults, and we have
Do
to
you make them
respect them.
tell them? Like, okay, so say, you can either use real examples or not, but like, say that is going to happen for the upcoming holiday, which is Thanksgiving
Or Christmas.
or Christmas
New Year's,
or
Right,
New
or
Year's.
whatever
Got
it
several
is.
coming in.
Yeah.
But are you going to say to your kiddo, even though, either 11-year-old, 18-year-old, 20-year-old, whatever, 24-year-old, why are you picking the other parent? Like, do the kid have to come up with their reason?
I
Because
say
that's a lot.
absolutely not.
No.
Okay,
I say
thanks.
absolutely not.
Same.
And, I think it's important for parents to talk to their kids ahead of time. And, oh, by the way, if the kid changes their mind, they probably thought about it. So whatever their decision is, love them anyway.
That's so great.
Just let them do it, support them, because it's more about, and we talked about this before and we'll talk about it again, it's more about the relationship that
Big
you have
time.
with your kid
Big
than
time.
any one single instance
That's
of
right.
what happens in life.
We used
right?
to say this when I was in schools. We'd say this to parents, and it applies to obviously ourselves, but don't major in the minors. And this doesn't feel minor because it's a holiday, but whose
Right.
expectations really are we trying to appease there? So that's really selfless
Yeah.
to have to say, but in my head, I envisioned we're all together around the big
Yes.
table, blah, blah,
Yes.
blah, whatever the tradition is, but that may not be the expectation of the kid. That's hard, y'all.
Sometimes it's better to just be quiet.
Ooh. How long does that take to integrate? Because I feel like the men, and we love you men, I feel like the men get hurt more. And they don't know how to not justify, that's not the right word. Integrate the idea that it's not all about them and they should just I'm just saying.
That's so interesting. I mean, from a psychology
It is.
standpoint,
It
we
is.
know men are from Mars, women are from Venus. We think different, we speak different.
I've worked with kids from divorced families in the
Right.
sessions. And yes, I feel like that they tiptoe a little bit more around the male emotional stuff.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if you've experienced that yet or not. I mean, because you've had to navigate some of that with your families.
I mean, I think my son is more out to be more honest with me and say, no, I don't want to go here, or yes, I want to go there, as opposed to with his dad, he just goes along with whatever his dad wants. And he's never said this, but I think it's because he doesn't want to hurt his feelings, or he doesn't want him to feel left out.
Yeah, that's a caretaker too of your son.
Yeah.
That's a nice piece.
But with me, he's just very direct and says, well, no, I don't want to do
created
that.
climate, though. It took work to get to the authentic climate of just like honesty.
Yeah. So I think it just depends. I mean, because my daughter will do whatever either one of us and she struggles with that.
Oh, so she does still feel pulled between.
Yes.
And so they're trying to make,
even though she's an adult.
Yes.
She's still.
Has she turned 20 yet?
No, she's 19.
Okay, y'all are right on the cusp, though.
If it were up to her, she would still be on a kid's schedule because it's just so much easier.
Sophia, if you're watching this one, we love you.
Parenting adult children.
Parenting adult children?
I know. When are they really adults?
I don't think it's yet.
Do we know the answer?
Is there a finite answer?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Think about yourself. When did you stop going to your parents for things?
When I had my own kids is when I really defined the boundary. It became so clear.
Right.
But before then, it was very blurry. At least for me.
I was 17.
See?
And I didn't depend on my parents at all.
That's impressive.
So, and we've talked about that. We have just a different generation.
I
think we're so much closer with our children than I certainly was with my parents. My bond with my kids, and I see it in different ways. I know one of my kids watched my house over the weekend, so he took care of everything. I didn't worry a bit about anything that was going to happen.
Animals, mail, alarm systems, whatever. Yeah.
Now, had I gone away for a weekend when he was 16 or 17, I would have been checking the camera for the partying, the whole. It's just that whole respect thing as they get older that I feel like they have for their own parents.
That's nice.
That was nice.
Yeah.
So how I parent him now at 28 is I learned to listen and appreciate everything that he's become.
Yeah. Well,
I want to say more like, get over here and see your freaking mom more often. I mean, I love you, honey, but I am down the road. But see, it's those kind of things that I can't. They'll come see you when they want to see you.
Yeah.
Right? It's just.
Well, and you've had so many children. Let's refresh our people. 6 kids from your actual origin of home, and then some that came and lived temporarily with you.
I will say I've raised 7.
Right.
6, 7 through high school.
But one thing for sure we know is one size doesn't fit all, and we were wanting to make sure we said that to our listeners. Yeah, whatever we're saying, one size doesn't fit all. I mean, we've got 3 moms in here with 10 kids or so more between us, and it still varies.
Different personalities.
Different situations.
The Enneagram. I wish I could get all my kids to
I know. Yeah.
I'm going to try that by the end of 2025.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe about the holiday season.
Gift.
Oh, hey, kids. Everybody sit down at the table. I have a test for you.
But it's on their phone, so that's good.
It is. It's true.
But no, I think it's just parenting in general, like depending on, and we've talked about this before, but the circumstances, right? Like different environments and different situations that you're going to parent differently.
Can you give an example?
I mean, just example would be like the way I parented when I was married is not the same the way I parent being divorced, right?
Right.
Or even the way I was parenting when I had 2 kids at home, as opposed to just having the one child.
Yes.
So it's different, right?
Yeah.
But again, 2 different children. Colin is very independent, comes home, warms his food up, goes outside, walks a couple blocks over to play with friends. Very independent. Sophia was never like that.
Isn't that interesting? Because what's interesting about that, I think, is that Sandra's probably, even if we can say this, I don't know if we can quantify parenting skill, but better at understanding her parenting with your second one.
Yes.
So that is cool because it shows that maybe that allowed that second one to develop in a way that's a little bit more, he seems more grounded.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, but I feel like inversely of that, in my case, where I feel like I'm better at parenting trying to finish the sentence without making it look like I'm terrible at parenting right now.
You're not terrible
But
at parenting.
I'm
Period.
struggling more with the second one. I would say my husband would vouch for that as well, that this second one's giving us a good run for our money. Even though I'm more grounded, I feel more authentic, I feel better at who I am, there's no mixed messages, you see what you get and all those things. And yet, this one.
Isn't that interesting?
Wow.
But do you think it's because he challenges you more than your daughter did?
Yeah, but in ways that are beyond. I mean, she challenged. We had our, pushing the boundaries. I don't want to follow those rules. You suck. All the things.
Here's $100,000 worth of
therapy.
advice.
Okay, what do you have for this one?
We did get miles for all those thousands of dollars. And I did travel, kids. There was one thing after
that
all
came
that
out
pain.
of that.
Yes. I remember sitting in an office with one of the therapists at one of the treatment centers. And we were talking about, my ex and I, who we were.
And you were married at the time.
Yes. And you think you're a good parent. You've done the classes. You're good. You're grounded. Your faith is strong. All of that. But sometimes a kid, your child, just goes a different direction. And it's actually not about you. The rules are already set in place.
That's a good one.
The boundaries
Thank
are
you
clear.
for that. That's right.
Some kids
it's
just
not about.
No.
That's refreshing. I must say.
Because you've changed a lot. You've changed a lot through the years.
You've changed a lot.
Yes, definitely. And I've also learned that my kids' behavior is not sometimes I can't control it. I can't fix it. You have to just love them anyway.
Oh,
so
I'm going to take that one.
Yeah.
Love me
it's
anyway.
Hard.
Love
it's
them
hard.
anyway.
Yeah, love them anyway.
That's good.
It's tough.
But isn't that an interesting
teen boys
inverse?
for me.
We all have, that's right. Okay, but your last one wasn't a boy.
No, thank you, Jesus. You finally gave me one that was just
you did. You went boy, boy, boy. You had some girls in there, like
3 boys. Then
you had the daughters. Your adopted daughters.
They were adopted and quiet and just they were lovely.
Yes,
young
different
teenagers.
Culture even.
No, different. Oof, but the boys.
Yeah, and I mean, Colin is
we're gonna check this out in a few years.
That's what I was going to
say. I know. We're watching Sandra.
I was gonna say, well, he's only 11.
That's right. We've got time. But no, he's gonna be great.
I can see it though, and yesterday he came home and he was very excited and couldn't wait to tell me that he got sent to the principal's office. Are you kidding me? And I said,
versus Mom, I got something to tell you.
No, he was excited, like he had just scored a touchdown. And I said, well, he said he got sent for vandalism. So immediately I was like, oh my, what did you do? But apparently he noticed that the water fountain can twist.
The mouth, the spigot part or whatever.
So all he did was he twisted it and showed this kid look, you can twist this. And a teacher sent him to the principal's office for.
She's got to.
I know.
We need her on a session.
But I didn't.
That's over the top.
Well, I let him talk and everything was fine. And I just said to him, I need for you, it doesn't, maybe I agree, maybe I don't. I said, but I need for you to be respectful to that teacher and to everybody around there. It doesn't. They could be right. They could be wrong. I was like, we have to be respectful. So he's like, okay, But then I found out that he posted on TikTok. I didn't even know he had a TikTok account.
Whoa.
But with the note
about to be banned here in the U.S.
with the note that they had sent him down with.
He's showing it and everything?
Yes. And so I made him take it down because I said that has the teacher's name on it. And then we had to have the conversation about consequences with social media.
Oh,
I was like, what if she sees that? Now you're talking about a whole nother level of problems. But my point is, yes, right now he's great, but
that darn thing.
He may not be great. He's going to shift.
I love all of the lessons that were in there because there was one size doesn't fit all, love him anyway, but also that you had a teachable moment and you were using it, you were diving in, she was leaning in. She wasn't reprimanding and da-da-da-da. You were like, we have so many layers here. Be respectful. Now, wait, now there's social media now. I got to teach about boundaries and respect and... That was great.
I think
you did great.
Needs to be at the very top of the parenting.
Good one. Respecting whom?
parents, teachers, people
You
of
know, I
authority.
think respect everyone.
Thank
and
you. It was
there
a
are
hooked
times.
question. I was
I
expecting
was
an
thinking
answer
about kids. Like you even need to teach your kids to respect their friends and their enemies. It's just, it's a matter of like, we've lost so much of that. Because in social media, of course, you can write anything you want
my
and there's no
gosh.
repercussions right away. But I think at
Yes.
home,
Yes.
that's a good, that can be a takeaway.
That's a
topic
takeaway.
today. Parents,
Respect.
over the family dinner that we should all be having regularly, right?
The research says.
Talk about it.
Still one of the top-
R-E-S-P-C-T.
There's so many good cheers and songs around that.
Oh,
You
see?
know, I know,
Mhm.
respect. I believe that it's most important right now. I mean, with the climate our kids are growing up in, it's very hostile, whether it's political or not.
Right.
It just seems competitive. And that's something we've talked about in our community, but I know it's represented in other communities. So like there used to be a culture of like connection, and now there's a culture of competition, and that drives so much, whether it's sending your kid to college or who's the quarterback on the starting quarterback. It's so competitive, highest GPAs.
Right.
That breeds then some sense of like an undermining to like be glad when the other guy fails and to be like, it just And so instead of being like, oh, like remembering what it feels like to not win, that's hard. Remember, it feels like to not get in the college you want. Remember what it feels like to not necessarily care for whoever might have been elected president. You just want to have respect.
Yes, I agree. And I did talk to him about that when the elections, because the kids were all talking about it. And I said, you have to be respectful because you don't know how the other person feels. You can't, I'm not saying, I'm real careful, like to say, like, don't say anything, because then I want him to express himself, but also you can express yourself respectfully.
Completely.
That you're not
or know what
offending
topics
anybody.
are off in
Right.
which environments, right? How about
Read
that?
the room. Right? Like,
read the room.
Read the room. That's
Read
a
the room.
takeaway.
Social cues, for sure.
That's hard. Social cues, right?
Social cues
Oh my gosh.
can be. I mean, I've seen some teenagers in situations that just don't get it.
Yeah. And that may be something to think about with our adult kids. It's going to be interesting when they do come home for the holidays. Let's start to like do a little litmus test of,
Let's make a plan. Let's do it now, and then we'll reconvene.
yes,
Yeah.
like how do they assimilate back into our home culture? Are they being respectful? Are they reading the rooms? Do they know that certain behaviors that might be okay at college are not necessarily going to be the same at home? I'm not going to see you get shit-faced drunk.
The reminder part of this is not a frat house. When the parties start again.
Big
after
time.
They're out of high school. You think they're off and gone in college, and they come back, and then the parties start happening.
Well, especially when you live in the same town as your kid's college. That's an
It's
extra.
a little rough. Not gonna lie.
We might get a little jealous of that, right?
Oh.
that her
My
home is
floor
still
was
a frat
sticky
house.
for a month straight, and I got rid of the ping pong table. There's no more ping pong. Yeah,
Aw.
I know.
I'm good at ping pong.
No,
No,
but
I know,
it's
it's
the
the
ping
pong.
pong. What is it?
Beer
Beer
pong.
pong.
Beer pong.
I don't like beer.
They
If
don't
it were
drink
wine
beer?
or it's
Oh, wine
Oh,
pong was
oh,
not
sorry.
pong.
No, let's get past that.
Vodka
no
pong.
There's no pong.
There's no pong at your house.
No ping pong.
Martini
anymore.
pong.
Oh,
anyway.
Well,
I think
That was
we're
a
all
lot of
calm.
energy.
I know. Kids are, and it doesn't end.
No.
The adult kids, parenting is never, ever
Do
over.
you feel like
It
you're
shifts.
parenting, as we kind of close on this session, are you parenting your 37, 36-year-old guy?
No, interesting question. I am not parenting my kids after they're 21. I'm hoping like hell that they actually got some tidbits out of the parenting I did, whether it was good or bad.
Yeah.
So now I'm there to listen, support, inspire. That's my role as a mom.
Nice.
That's really, and I learned
collab.
that. Yeah, I learned that
Collaborator.
even more when my 28-year-old was watching the house. I thought, man, I need to tell him too. Riley, I really respect you. Thank you.
I thought that was you.
He's, but all of them have gotten to that place of where you want to point out the things that they're doing really great in life right now.
Yeah.
Let's make sure we do that in general, y'all.
Yeah.
Right? That
Yeah,
we do
you're right.
Two
You're right.
positives per one,
You're
constructive.
right.
If we
Two
have to, the
positives
sandwich.
for one.
At least, right? For one
100%.
constructive one. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, I was going to say, it just made me think of something like, and we kind of talked about this, about because we were talking about co-parenting, but like you were saying, when does co-parenting end?
Yes.
Right? Like, I think that's a great question.
When you're not married anymore, I'm co-parenting with my guy.
But you have to co-parent when you're divorced.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, mine had a shelf life. It was over at 18. I don't co-parent with anyone anymore.
And
I like it.
I love
I
that.
love being, I mean,
You don't
that sounds
co-parent?
funny. No, I don't really co-parent in a sense that there's
when the
responsibility of
kids
making
were
sure.
18.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just like, when you were 18?
When Avery was 18 or when she graduated,
Yep.
then I didn't have to co-parent.
I got you 100%.
Because they're doing their own thing.
That's
I'm
right.
doing my own thing. My ex is doing his own thing, and that's all okay.
But then you
great.
still have to coexist.
We do have to coexist.
Relationally.
Yes, I think that's another.
And I do think
Another
that it
episode.
is important. And just one thing I'd like to say about that is that it is important to maintain respect, again, between the two parents, because if you don't, then it becomes awkward. Even for the adult kids, you want to be able to give your kids an environment that they can associate with without having to pick
Aren't
between
we
the mom and the
modeling?
dad.
You're right. Yes, that goes back to Divorce 101. We've said it before. You have to be kind to the ex. Period. For more reasons than one. I've got such a cold.
I know. Well, one thing we wanted to make sure we said was that
you don't have to. It's nice if you want to.
That we wanted to be mindful of that gratitude and the blessings and everything this time of year, especially.
Yes.
And that goes into a little bit of reminding, you did have offspring with these people. So what a blessing you have from the
being grateful.
Yeah. Just remember that.
I feel like I have great kids that have given me a run for my money, but I'm so grateful that
you
my
had
ex
that
and I did what we
Yes.
did. I mean, we had some fun times.
Yeah,
with
you
that
had
for
4
sure.
kids. You had
Yeah.
3 kids together.
Yeah.
Biologically.
Well, now you're getting all bajiggity. Like,
I know, and then you have
7
these other
kids
and the
can
other
drive
one.
anybody apart. So
Do we have a question?
we do. Let's go with the question.
I'm gonna
I
have to look
love
at
the
I forgot the
questions.
jar, y'all. Our special
It's okay.
jar.
It's okay. Hold on, I'm thirsty. Let me just get my cup.
Oh, this is the one about the between
Y'all don't even have bomb-proof toward the camera, do
I
you?
do.
I do.
Oh, mine's too low.
Okay, just checking.
Between like the struggle of who's right more often. Have your children given you some kind of poo, some kind of crap on like dad's right more often or mom's right more often? Like in that struggle of who may be right more. I know.
That's a good one.
I know. I'm going to wait because
I mean, my ex is super smart about a million things. So if you dial it down to
like
logic,
accuracy,
perhaps. But if you go with emotion and something crazy, I win. So
Yep. I bet.
yeah.
I bet. What about you, Sandra?
We always had a rule that I was always right. Nobody wanted to argue, but
That's great.
Like,
but Mama's happy.
now looking back at it, I was probably a little controlling when it came to that. Like I always wanted to be right, and that's wrong. That's
Look at the growth.
well, that's something I
In
learned,
just a couple
but
years. And in my case, probably I would go with a little bit what Jamie said. Dad's probably right more, but it's when it's more about like logical things,
Yeah.
business style decisions.
Yeah.
But relationally, I'm gonna have to say mom's the winner.
There
and
you
who
go.
do they
I
call?
like
Who do
it.
they text?
Mm-hmm.
It's usually mom
Yeah.
first.
Emotional connections
Thank
are
you.
very important. That's good. All right. This is a wrap. That was
Yes.
good. Until next
Awesome.
time.
Later.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
Thank you.